Hello everyone. In today's talk, we're going to explore the activity and experience of astral projection. And we're going to do it at a level much deeper than you've probably seen anywhere else before. I'm not going to just repeat a bunch of subjective experiences that offer you no real benefit. Instead, I will outline a complete and rational model for understanding astral projection. But even beyond that, this model will form the basis for understanding the nature of literally every intangible concept and influence we are capable of experiencing. Now, I have to admit, that's a lot of ground to cover, and no doubt there will be follow-up videos to explore each area in more depth. But I have my trusty fire hose at the ready, and I'm not afraid to use it. Now, certainly you didn't think I was about to spray water at my own camera. But, I don't know, maybe one day when I get an effects budget that's sufficient for that, I'll try it out. But till then, here's your cut screen. Immanuel Kant first described the philosophy of transcendental idealism in his book Critique of Pure Reason in 1781. Kant argued that we are only capable of understanding a thing through our perception of it, which is limited to the faculties of our six senses. I'm including intuition as a sense here. Therefore, we are incapable of knowing anything as it truly is, only as it appears to us. The one notable exception to this is if the thing is truly as we perceive it to be. But of course, there's no way to determine whether or not this is the case. We can employ devices such as cameras or other forms of sensors. However, as even the name sensor implies, these devices are made to either mimic the human senses or to transform data into a form suitable for the human senses to perceive, thereby reintroducing the very same error. Now, at this point, I will remind you that you have a pause button right there and a progress indicator. Don't be afraid to just slide it back and repeat any part of this that you may need to. I get it, this is a dense video. We're going to cover a lot in a very short period of time. But I think you'll find it really rewarding. I'm proud of this one myself, to be honest with you. So, all right, moving on from there. So Kant further reasons that time and space are concepts that humans have introduced in order for the universe to appear in a way that our senses are capable of perceiving, thus implying that time and space are both illusions and thus may not exist at all. But they exist as real to us because their existence is necessary in order for us to perceive any world at all outside of ourselves. Now take a moment to let that sink in. We humans are so powerful that we can inflict the concepts of time and space onto the universe in order for its appearance to suit our sensibilities. Now, that may sound a bit out there to you, or to some of you, but I challenge you to disprove it, because you cannot. Because in order to disprove that claim, you would have to be capable of perceiving what's known as the thing in itself. That is to say, the true nature of the universe. The fact that even now scientists are only more bewildered than ever about the true nature of the universe only serves to support rather than detract from the veracity of Kant's claim. And so it is that this concept underlies the very concept of astral projection. To astral project is to alter the nature of one's perceptions. Despite the word projection implying some kind of travel, there is no movement of any kind necessary. Even through the lens of the mind, one can perceive oneself as being in the exact same space-time coordinates as their physical body so stubbornly resides. But just because it isn't necessary to travel doesn't mean you can't. But that opens up another conceptual problem. How? How is it possible for the conscious mind to travel outside the body? To answer that, let's start with a little exercise. Right now, seriously, right now, close your eyes and imagine the room that you're currently in. And while you're remaining well grounded within your body and moving your head around physically like this, just as you normally would with your eyes open. Do this for a minute or so. Now try it again without moving your head. Does it work? How are you doing that? How can you see what is behind you while looking forward? This is the basis of how astral projection works. In that exercise, you were not astral projecting. Your mind was able to construct the scene behind you from your imagination. If, for example, I were hiding somewhere in the room with you and quietly came out of my hiding place and seated myself on the floor behind you, you would not have perceived me. Now that is because the landscape was constructed by you rather than being sensed or perceived through some native faculty. So all the active astral projection is doing is engaging our intuition to act as our sole sense for perceiving the world. But what is the intuition? We've all had experiences where we intuitively predicted that something was going to happen and then it did. Or perhaps we had an intuitive understanding of a concept that we have no memory of ever being exposed to. But what is that? Where does it come from? The answers to those questions can only be found through the practice of exalting the intuition as the lone active sense by causing the other 5 to remain dormant. That is astral projection. This is probably a good place to stop for today. Next week, I'll describe the model in more concrete terms and begin to illustrate the correspondences between thoughts, emotions, and perception. Now, please click those like and subscribe buttons so that, again, I don't get to eat until I get to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. You guys know how this works. Even if you're not a YouTuber, you've certainly heard this before. So please subscribe. Please share the content if you found this to be helpful or useful in any way. And I will see you guys next week. Thank you.